Right, so hey guys, today it's GeoLego, and this is my biggest project so far. 30-minute long video about Orkney and facts about Orkney and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe so that you can see more Orkney content, and it'll possibly be better for you to know some facts about Orkney. So let's get going. So this video is going to be about the amazing archipelago that is Orkney in Scotland, and yeah, it'll be a great video. Hope you enjoy. So yeah, let's get right into it. So first fact about Orkney is that it's 990 square kilometers, and its population is around about 21,000. And another fact about Orkney is that they have a YouTube channel which is 3,430 something subscribers, and I'm catching up to them. So subscribe if you want me to beat them, I suppose. Another amazing fact about Orkney is we have 18 hours of sunlight in the summer and only 6 in the winter, which means that I literally go to school in the darkness from morning till like after school, and we get out it's dark either way, so it's like being daylight by the time it's amazing, honestly. It's such a weird experience, it makes it so like finished, it's amazing. To get another fact about Orkney is our biggest town is Kirkwall, and it has a population of around about 10,000. Our second biggest town is a town called Stromness, which barely exists. Yeah, it has about 2,000 people. I actually beat its population in subscribers. Yes, recently, and yeah. I am one of the biggest YouTubers in the whole archipelago of 22,000 people, which I'm amazed by. Thank you for all your support. I can't believe this is going on for half an hour. It's been 2 minutes and I'm running out of facts. Our biggest town is Finstown, which has 500 people, so quite a bit smaller than Stromness and Kirkwall. And our main island, called the mainland, also known as Pomona, is the largest island, obviously, because it's called the mainland, and it's about 550 square kilometers with a population of 17,000 people. Our second biggest island, Hoy, is by far the most hilly island. It's my favourite as well, I've got to be honest. It's also called the Brown Island because it is brown year round. It also has the highest sea cliffs in the United Kingdom at over 1,000 feet high, which is it's massive. Like when you're standing there, and you like get somebody to take a picture of you, and you like run along the Rackwick beach. The cliffs are massive. You look tiny compared to them. It's honestly an amazing experience. The tallest hill on Orkney is Ward Hill on Hoy. It is also the highest island, with an average elevation of 200 metres at 800 feet. That's really high, considering the Orkney average is about 80 metres, which still seems fairly high. But that's actually really like 200 metres is actually not that high for Scotland, but that's crazy. Scotland's like a really high country. There's also another hill on Hoy called the Keelags, which is 1,400 feet tall, I think. Me and some family members climbed up that earlier in the year, and I still have bruises on my feet from that because I didn't wear the right footwear. And Hoy is home to less people in Finstown. It's only home to 400 people. There's about 4 people per square kilometre there, which is the same population density as Canada. really low, not many people there at all. And yeah, Stromness is the closest major town to Hoy, because it's an amazing view. Like, you look across the sea, see Hoy hills. They are huge, humongous. For example, the tallest hill on the mainland is only 800 feet tall, which is the average height on Hoy, which is amazing. It's an amazing island, honestly. There's also Orkney's only remaining natural woodland there, the Berrydale Woods. It's an amazing woodland area. I've been in there, but I've seen it from the path from the Qlags. It looked beautiful. And also, Hoy is the only island, I think, in Orkney that has inland cliffs, because there's nowhere else in Orkney like it. It's so different. Like, you wouldn't expect this on such a small island, like archipelago, that you wouldn't expect the islands to be so much different, but trust me, they really are. So there's an island called Rousey, which is the most similar to Hoy, in my opinion. They seem to be doing a lot of tree plantations there. Last time I went there. There's also a little island called Wyre, which is really cool. I'd recommend you go visit there if you can, and if you can come up to Orkney, it's a place I would really recommend. There's also a lot of archaeological stuff that happens in Orkney. It's like the archaeological capital of Europe or something. There's a lot of digs and stuff, like the Skara Brae, which was submerged under sand from thousands of years ago. I can't remember what year it was, but I know it's like way before Christ was born. It's like BCE or BC, and it's a great place. It's got some great views, but it's mainly there for the Skara Brae prehistoric village. Yeah, really recommend that if you're visiting Orkney. What else? We have seagrass under the sea. I only saw this today. It's Orkney's, like, what keeps Orkney from being like, what is it, like a carbon container they called it or something, because it is good for keeping carbon away from us. Our air quality is very good. And Orkney must be one of the most cliffy places on earth, because everywhere you go there's not very many beaches, because the cliffs in Orkney aren't necessarily all that high, apart from when you go to Hoy and Yesnaby, where they're like quite tall. Yesnaby is not an island, by the way. It's an amazing place on the mainland. It's probably one of my favourite locations in all of Orkney. It's got like 80-metre tall cliffs. They are humongous. It's near Stromness. It's in the Stromness parish. You can see the Old Man of Hoy from it, which is the big sea stack that you see in some of these pictures on the screen. Yes, and yeah, we also have a lot of heather and peat, which are also called carbon containers, because they literally contain all the carbon. And Orkney is generally a flat place. It's not very hilly. There's quite a few rolling hills on the east mainland, and this is now taking the case for my longest video already. Actually, no, it's not, because my longest video is 14 minutes. But anyway, back to the video. Honestly, Orkney is so green as well. I've heard that Shetland, which is the most northerly place in the UK, is very brown like Hoy, which I would be happy enough with, but there's so much green in Orkney, it's lovely. But you may have heard something about Orkney, that the weather is not great and that it is very windy, which is true in a sort of fashion, but we do get some good weather. Like, we get over 10 blue clear skies a year, I would say, definitely. I know that we don't get a lot of sunlight, which is a big problem, but especially in the winter. And yeah, in the winter we do not get particularly cold. The Orkney average temperatures in the winter are high of 6 degrees and a low of 2 degrees. So not very cold for winter. It might feel a lot colder because of wind and rain and stuff like that. Like it makes it feel like minus is like definitely feels cold. Yeah, what else? The summers in Orkney can be very weird. Like it snowed in June before, like where else does it do that? The climate in Orkney year round is very weird, but especially in like summer. Because we have our cold spell in March. Another fun fact. I am the weatherman, ain't I? What else about Orkney? There's 70 different islands. They're all very different, trust me. Only about 20 of them are inhabited, which is less than a third. Which I just find amazing because it seems like all the islands in Orkney are inhabited, but there's so many small, tiny islands like Coppensea, Einhallow, Farra, places like that. Wyre is one of the only small islands actually to be inhabited. There's also North Ronaldsay, 6 square kilometres, a very tiny island. I've only been there a couple of times when I was like very young. And yeah, like I said before, you may have heard Orkney is very bad for wind, but that's a lie. It's not that bad. There are way worse places like deserts and stuff in Africa that are way worse for wind, because at least we have permanent hills, to say the least, because it finds its way of blocking it out. Yeah. But it also depends what part of Orkney you're on, because you can be underneath like Ward Hill or something on Hoy where you're quite protected, because that's like 1,500 feet tall. It's massive. It's also like a wall. It's quite steep. Yes, Orkney millions of years ago was formed by the glaciers, which used to be as high as the Himalayas, and it was all around the UK. It smoothed out England, parts of Scotland, but obviously the Scottish Highlands are like the most underpopulated, empty part of the United Kingdom. They have only got 8 people per square kilometre. But anyway, back to the glaciation. This was the last ice age, I think. The glaciers were like, according to the like scientists and stuff that I've researched before, glaciers were as high as the Himalayas, so like Mount Everest and stuff. Imagine that in the UK. I cannot imagine that. I can't even imagine a proper glacier being in Orkney. It would be so weird just to see a huge snow, like icy thing be in Orkney, because we're generally warm year round. Yes. Sorry, I kind of forgot facts. It's kind of weird just speaking to myself here for the last like 15 minutes or so. We get something called the County Show once per year, which is like farming show kind of thing. I don't know what you call it. A country show. It's called the County Show because it's like all the farmers meet from Orkney, and they do a dog race there. They do like cow judging, things like that. Like just farm animals. And there's also fun fair rides there. It's the same as the Doomby Show. The Doomby Show this year was absolutely like awful because it was a warm day for Orkney. It was 21 degrees Celsius. That's warm for us. And there was a thunderstorm the day after, which was incredible. But anyway, back. The Doomby Show is basically the same as the County Show, except for it's not quite as big, but I do prefer the Doomby Show generally. Except for this year, it was just way too warm. The sun was beating down like mad. It was really warm. Because you could like lie on the ground and feel the warmth. And yeah. So any more facts? Mainland Orkney is the 10th largest island in the UK and 9th largest if you do not include the UK Great Britain island, which is like the majority of the UK. But I class it as an island, so it's the 10th largest island in the UK, which is pretty impressive considering we have like 7,000. I think we're slightly behind the Isle of Wight, but it's not that much. Mainland Shetland's a lot bigger, though it's like 80 miles long or something, whereas Orkney's just really wide. This might be the longest I've ever talked to myself, oh my god. Yeah, we also have sea stacks. The Old Man of Hoy is probably one of the UK's most famous sea stacks. I'm sure you will have heard of it before if you're not from Orkney even. We have the Yesnaby Castle, which is a sea stack at the beautiful place of Yesnaby. There are probably quite a few more. I know there's an arch on the island of Stronsay, which is a weirdly shaped island off on the east side of Orkney. There's also something called the Gloop, which is in Dearness, which is on the East Mainland. You have to drive up pretty far north on the East Mainland to get there. And it's a beautiful place as well, because you can stand on this bridge above it. It's a sea, it's eventually going to be like it was a cave, former cave, but the sea's like eroded away at it, so it's created a hole up above it. And sometimes it has a blowhole, which is where the sea, like a massive wave hits you on the bridge, but I've never actually seen it before. Apparently much rarer now because of storms. And like I said before, wind is a big problem here, so we get a lot of coastal erosion happening here. Because there's cliffs almost everywhere you go in Orkney. There's not many places where you don't see any cliffs at all. But there is a beautiful beach called Scapa Beach, which is only beautiful really on the days that it's like sunny, or what we class as sunny anyway, where the cloud cover is like still 50% or something, but it's nice and sunny. And yeah, it's great on those days because you see the blue waters. Oh yeah, it's an awesome place. It's not a great place for swimming though, because cold water is it's horrible until you get used to it. But there's also another beach called Inverness, which you have to go over a hill to get to. It's a beautiful place. As well, I have actually got a video of Inverness in this video. It's the one where you're the 2-second long video of blue clear sky and you see the cliffs and other islands and stuff. You'll see it in the video. What else? I've said that a lot in this video, but I now just think of really random things, don't I? Orkney went through a drought earlier this year. I think it was something that happened across the whole UK, which was a big problem, which is very unusual for Orkney, as Orkney is definitely one of the rainiest, most horrible weather places in the UK. And our temperatures in the year generally vary about between the lowest temperatures in the year are generally about -8, -7, -8. And the hottest day will be at 25 degrees, which is not that warm for some places, but it's incredibly warm for Orkney. Except for this year when it hit 25 degrees. Because there was a thunderstorm the night before, it kind of cleared the air. It was amazing. But the day before that was really muggy and horrible, so I'm really glad that that thunderstorm happened. We do not get a lot of thunderstorms either. We've had more this year than ever before, I think, because we've had 3, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot for Orkney. Because we don't generally get 1 in a year, it's generally like 1 every 5 years, right, because of our latitude. Fun fact about thunderstorms here. Thunderstorms very rarely make it above 51 degrees latitude, and of course the whole UK is above that. But it's much more common to get thunderstorms in southern England than it is in Orkney and Shetland. And we get our cold nights, like tonight is meant to be a low of 0 degrees, which is way below average winter temperatures, never mind November. And there was forecasted for some snow, which is also quite rare for Orkney, because of the Gulf Stream. And the Gulf Stream is something that never freezes. It's a jet stream in the ocean. And it's a bit unfortunate because I love the thunder and lightning and the really, really cold and snow, but the Gulf Stream basically stops all that from happening anywhere near as often as it could. There's not much else I can say about Orkney, to be honest. But there's quite a few small communities. There's one called Twat, which is a very interesting name for a town, if you get what I mean. We have a huge grammar school or high school, as you'd probably call it, which has about 800 people in it. Because it comes from the East Mainland schools, and some of the West Mainland schools that comes from the island schools, like on the islands, including Hoy, which is closer to Stromness, because there's the Stromness Academy as well. It's a great school in many ways, but it's also a bad school in many ways, because I'm obviously going to say that because I go there. Let me actually cut that bit. So yeah, we've actually had a very dry start to the winter, I would say, this year. Yeah, I did say this video was going to be half an hour long, didn't I? But I got dry of facts like in the first 2 minutes, and I've been very boring since, I'm sorry. Orkney is probably the 3rd largest archipelago in Scotland, after the Hebrides, because I do not class the Inner Hebrides and Outer Hebrides as 2 separate island groups or archipelagos. I class them all as one. They're 7,000 square kilometres, absolutely massive for Scotland. There's the Shetland Islands, which I mentioned previously. They're quite big as well. The mainland's almost the same size as Orkney, I think. Like Orkney as a whole, if you combine all the islands. And then there's Orkney, obviously, 3rd biggest. I think those are the 3 main ones. There's probably a lot of very small ones. Orkney is the most densely populated county in the Scottish Highlands and Islands, with a population density of 22 people per square kilometre. And yeah, I'll probably have to be rounding up soon, and I'll leave a few minutes to spare for some extra video footage. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed my fun fact video, but mainly geographical video, because I'm a massive fan of the Orkney geography and stuff. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed what is my biggest project ever, longest video ever on my YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Hope you enjoyed the videos as well. Like and subscribe. Bye.